Hey Kelsey, it's Jordan. Can you walk me through what's going on? Like, I got your text yesterday when I got out of the meeting, and it said...
Hey, so you know how Ardmore, we had a connection with Ardmore, we were doing really good with them?
Yes.
Like, I mean, they weren't taking in our detox people, like, it was doing really good.
Right.
Well, long story short, after COVID, now they're like, these people don't even know who Reckless is.
You're kidding me.
I was like, no, I'm not kidding you. They said that he can be accepted, but they don't even know who Reckless is. I promise you it's not a joke, but we have personally drove people down there ourselves.
Yeah, like dozens at this point. So they're telling him he can get in, but they've all of a sudden never heard of Reckless, even though we've sent dozens of addicted through there. He can get in on Thursday, and how much do they want? How much do they want to have him there?
His mother didn't tell me, because I sent the mother straight to you, because I was just like, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. So I sent her straight to you.
Okay, and how many in your estimation, like how many have we sent them, like since we've started using them for like what, months to a year now?
Oh my goodness. I've sent so many women and men down there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So it's like, it's well over 20 at this point. Let's do this. I'm gonna get into it. Like I'm gonna research some different stuff. I've got some detox centers I'm gonna call, but I need you to do this for me. Call that mom back and tell her that we're gonna get him into detox, no questions asked. If push comes to shove, take him to Ardmore and they can bill Reckless and me personally for it. Like, we will pay whatever it is they want to get this guy through. It's very common in this industry, unfortunately, like, and you've seen it. What happens is they partner with us and they want to help, and then all of a sudden they change administration or a different guy gets in charge of it, and then all of a sudden they don't, and they shut it off just that quick. And the addicted are the only ones that are hurt by it. That's what's terrible. I think part of it too is we want to make sure he's very serious about going. So let's have a plan. Amber's gonna work that out, a plan when he gets out of detox, like what treatment center and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we could totally send him to one. He just has to know that he needs to go. And
right, and they give him like a straight medical detox. I mean, they're gonna watch him.
It's a medical detox because it's through the hospital.
Right, that's what we want. Absolutely. So it's the safest. Because if that's all that's standing in between him and getting treatment, like I'll pay it. Like I don't. And they're gonna hit us for like thousands. I know they are. We have to keep doing this every few months, and it's really aggravating. But
if an addict has Sooner Care or health insurance, it works great. We can get him into rehab that day.
Yeah, like, but what addict has insurance?
Right.
Like that's the issue.
Nobody got no insurance. They ain't got no money.
Exactly. So we want to make sure this guy does it the right way, does it safe. If he's coming off heroin and those things, like he needs to be monitored. He needs to do it in a safe environment, and we're gonna make sure that happens. So yeah, get a hold of her and just tell her that you talked to me this morning, and we're gonna take care of it personally, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. I'll call his mom.
All right. Thanks, Kelsey. So there's tons of money to be made in recovery. There's tons of it. They charge anywhere from $3 to $10 grand to detox a human being. And that's simply just monitor him, give him IV fluids, things like that while he's coming off of narcotics. Hospitals and these other places and these recovery systems, they've been bleeding the system dry for years. So every now and then what will happen is we'll come across a source like this one that was in Ardmore at this hospital. They were detoxing patients because they loved what we were about. And so often as we see in this, someone else gets in charge of that program and he sees the huge amount of dollars that he's missing out on, and he cuts it just that quick. And they can, because it's like a favor, you know what I'm saying? Or they look at it like the grace they're giving us. And so it's not new. This has happened to us with about 17 different hospitals and different recovery systems. They initially sign on with us because they want Reckless to kind of push their name and be like, oh yeah, we helped Reckless, and you know, they get to be a part of the 200 plus addicts or whatever it is that we help a month. But it always hurts when it gets to this point, because that kid is caught in it now. So now he's ready to go to treatment. He's ready to go. No courtesy call to tell us, hey, by the way, the deal that we struck with you guys, that's over, that's dead. Just letting you know, don't send anybody up here. We send the guy all the way to Ardmore, and then he says, well, we've never heard of Reckless, we don't know who they are, which is insane, because we have documents. I mean, holy crow, man. We've got documents with over probably 40, 50 people pushed through there in the last like 6 months to a year. So it's one of those things where it's just frustrating, like, and it, you know, it never gets easier for me to deal with, because no hospital is hurting. None of them. I mean, they're making bank, you know what I'm saying, off insurance and off everything else. It becomes one of these things where they don't actually care what happens to that guy, because he came all the way up there, and it's, I mean, that's kind of where they hit him. So I'm gonna take a minute to not get mad, even though I'm pretty much fuming at this point, and then I'm gonna do what we do. We're gonna reach out to our network of people, and we're gonna find another detox center that will either give us, you know, drastically reduced rates, So some of them we sign on and pay for like the blood test, and we pay for things so the hospital's not out of pocket anything. And they may not make the money on that particular person, but they're not cost anything. But then some of them, hopefully we're going to pray and hope that one of them opens up for free that we can continue to send people to, because detox is proven. You get a good detox facility that does it and does it right medically, monitors them, gives them IV fluids, their recovery rate goes up. And detoxing off heroin, oxy, those things are so dangerous that without being medically detoxed, like a person could die from that, and they do all the time. So that's why it's a staple of our industry. Like we have to have it at Reckless. Like I'm not going back on it. Like I'm just not. And I'm not telling that kid to go home and try to do it in his bathroom with Benadryl and water.
I'm gonna get out of your face, bro. You do what you do.
All right.
Get some people some help, bro.
I will, man.
What's up, brother? What just happened?
We just got a phone call from one of the treatment centers we work with that a distraught mother showed up. Nobody's helping her kid get clean, and she doesn't know what to do. She's freaking out. So she showed up at one of the rehabs, and they're kind of spooked and don't know what to do, so they call Reckless. So
What just happened, brother?
I don't know.
That's another day in the life of Reckless. We have no idea what's going on. But what happened, though? Just break it down for me.
A mother pulled up across the street, came over here to ask for help. Her kid is struggling with something. From what I understand, she went through Klonopin and some other benzos and stuff, but she's saying it's not his fault, but there was also
Thyroid,
there's
thyroid and genetic disorder.
thyroid
Right.
and genetic disorder. She was wanting us to help her. He needs help, so we called Jordan and called you all and tried to get you over here. She had an appointment she had to run to, but definitely we're trying to get him up here because she's not the person we need to be talking
Right,
to.
yeah.
So
What is this place? What am I standing in? What is this?
this is Reincarnation Cottage's office.
Okay, is that Reincarnation Offices?
That's the cottage right there.
There's a cottage. That's a lovely cottage. Man, I ain't had a house that nice ever myself. Like,
Me neither.
that's awesome. Hey, look at this. I think there's a Reckless van over there.
There is a Reckless van over there.
Reckless Saints of Nowhere.
Thanks to Jordan, he
Thanks to-
donated that to us.
He did? That's awesome.
North Star helped with that too. So
Yeah.
Jordan is up here with us right now, and we would love for your son to come up here if she can make that available.
Help me. I need to know, did the antipsychotics finish off his kidney? What is going on? Is the panic from the antipsychotics, or is it because his liver enzymes and his adrenals are failing?
Hey, Michelle, it's Jordan.
Hi.
I'll try to walk you through it as best I know. So I remember talking to you previously about what was happening. Right. So I'll try to just walk through this part and kind of help. What I'm concerned is trying to help you communicate to the doctor what's happening. And so the first thing they should do at a psych ward is be evaluated, and they're going to know what pills he was on and if he's not taking something. So that's where I'm trying to figure out why they did that. And because by putting him on Ativan for hallucinations, that doesn't make any sense.
So you think they found some in his toxicology report to say that he was already on something, so they were moving him off of whatever?
I
he
don't
was
know. Here's what I do know. The parts of it that you're trying to look for. Because unfortunately, man, anything where personal testimony is involved, like it's emotion. So
Yeah.
she's very emotional. Her kid is very, very sick, and that's scary. All you're trying to do is sort through the emotional part of it and get the facts. Because if I can get the facts lined up enough, you can usually get a pretty good picture of like what's happening. And hopefully we can tell her the right verbiage to then use when talking to that doctor to maybe get them to understand. So the kid is 30 years old. Medically, is that her again?
Yes.
Hey, that's okay. They're treating him probably for psychosis.
So I don't know if it's from the psychotics that they pumped him up with.
How long has he been out of the psychotics?
It's been 7 weeks since he was in the hospital with that seizure.
And has he taken anything since that 7 weeks?
No.
Then it's not the psychotics.
Good. Thank you.
he's going to feel the effects of coming off of that within 36 hours. And your hard stuff is going to be like within that first week. Your detox is going to be hell. But then,
Okay, and he was bad for that first week. He was very mean.
okay, so that does line up.
Can he come up here?
Let me talk with him. Is he there? Okay, can he call me on this number?
Can you give me a few minutes?
Absolutely.
And let me call you back? Okay.
Yeah, nope, take your time. Now, if this is legitimate medical stuff that's going on with this kid, like I'm there, like there are people that can help them, right?
Yeah.
But if he's not telling her what's going on, like he's not telling her that he's taking drugs that we don't know about it or whatever, because man, he sounds like he's withdrawn to me, like from what I've heard from her, but I still not talk to the kid. He won't, so.
We just need him up here.
We need to speak with him for sure.
Yep.
So the thing that's on my mind even now is like we're still trying to solve the detox facility problem. The last quote we got from a detox center, there it's going to be $2,800 per person to detox. And when you're helping like over 100 addicts easily each and every month, like that builds up quick. There's no way we can afford to do that. When you're trying to solve that, you're really frustrated because it was fine, the original deal that was worked out, but now all of a sudden someone has convinced them about the money they're missing out on. You know what I'm saying? And so now they're wanting to like, well, we need to make at least $2,000 or $2,800 on each one of these guys that Reckless is sending us. So then it becomes all about the money, and the addicted are the ones that are lost in that. That's the heartbreaking part, the part that I can't get over. So while I'm extremely mad and upset and like livid, I never even think about quitting, like ever. And, I mean, I'm tired of dealing with the politics of it, sure, but it's like on the other hand, I mean, you guys met Dustin, that's the outcome. Like. Yeah. So we had this agreement with them, and they were not taking any money. They said, man, we just love Reckless. We want to help you guys out. And they said, anyone you bring us, any addicted, we'll detox them for free. You don't have to worry about charging. So we sent them so many, I think like 40 or 50, man, inside a few months. And now they initially said, well, we don't know who Reckless is. We don't know what you're talking about when the guy walked in there. Yeah. Which is like heartbreaking enough when you're addicted, man. And this is like the part that I can't even like fathom how this man feels. When you're addicted, it's like humbling enough or humiliating enough to admit that you have a drug problem. It's like he had enough courage to walk in there and be like, man, I need help. And we sent him there because that was part of the agreement, you know? Yeah. And they told him, hey, well, we don't know Reckless. It's going to be $4,000, $4,200. Yeah. Well, of course, like we have all the documentation of all of the addicted that we've sent there. So we just kind of like shoot that over and be like, what do you mean? Like, what's really going on here? And then they hit back with, you know, we can help him, but we're going to need to charge like $4,000 to do it. And so at that point,
They never said anything to you though.
No one called us beforehand or anything and said no more.
Like, it'd been different if they at least called you and said, hey, by the way, we've got to start charging something.
Right,
At
yeah.
least.
Like the courtesy call of that would have been really nice. Then they say, well, you're going to have to pay for all of the addicted you have sent here. And I was like, so you have heard of us? Like, hang on, man. 10 seconds ago, you didn't know who Reckless was.
What?
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to take payment on all these people. You owe us a lot of money, and it's like, so of course it's not gonna hold up because we have the agreements, like we have all that stuff. Like,
That's insane.
all of this stuff can get worked out. All of this stuff can get whatever. The addicted is still there needing help. Yeah. So I don't care. Like this moment, like that's the most frustrating part. Those that prey on the addicted and their parents because they know how desperate they are, and they charge $30,000 for a 30-day program that doesn't work, or you know, like $10,000 to detox them, and it's all these things. Man, I would have more respect for them if they were heroin dealers. Like, and I mean that. At least they're honest about being dishonest. Mm-hmm. Like, no heroin dealer I've ever met is trying to convince me that he's saving the world. Those that charge like astronomical amounts of money. I mean, detox is 3 days, man. It's 3 days. Now, some of them, they're going to keep you there longer to make more money off of you and just bleed insurance
Or is there
companies.
something that takes 3 days that you can't figure out how to do, too?
Well, and like, we believe in old school detox. Like, I do believe in you know, I don't want to use drugs to come off drugs. I think that's stupid. I think trading like methadone, like trading one demon for another is, I mean, like, that's terrible. Now, I'm not mouthing methadone. I mean, like, there's cases or whatever. I'm not, if that's your gig, like if you went to a methadone clinic and got sober, I'm not against that. But, you know, over 60%, 70% of the people that started on methadone are still on methadone. It's like 4 years later, they're like, yeah, I'm still just trying to get sober. It's like, bro, cut the tether, man. Like, now you're addicted to methadone. Like, I think it's great that you quit Oxy. Like, that's fantastic. Like, heroin's no longer your gig, but like, now you're at the methadone clinic at 4 a.m. so you can be to work at 7. Like, this is nuts, man. Like, so people like that's the heartbreaking part about the recovery system, is they're just bleeding the addicted dry. But the good news is, out of all of that, like I said, and the people that encourage you to quit and say, man, I wouldn't deal with this stuff, it's like, well, you guys have obviously never met one Dustin. Mm-hmm. Because you meet one Dustin and it changes. I mean, like,
Makes it all worth it.
one Dustin makes all the other like crap worth it.
Like just within our own posse of guys, like talking to Dustin, how honest he is, and that what he brings to the team is crazy amazing. He's just so pure in what he's trying to do, and I think he's been in that place where people have judged him so much for his drug use, and now he's at the place where he's got the right words, and just needs a little encouragement to say what he needs to say. But you handed him the mic the other day in front of a big crowd, and he did great.
Oh, he killed. Like, he's been doing it his whole life. Like, it didn't even phase him, you know?
It was cool.
Yeah.
We love Dustin. Dustin, if you're watching this, I'll be watching it with you in my room later. we share a room together, and it's been awesome. Well, no, we're at the house.
The Reckless house, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we got separate beds.
it's like a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
It's just
It's great.
they live and work together.
What would you like to say to Dustin also, or about Dustin?
Dustin, hey, bro. I think we're gonna be lifelong friends, and I can't wait to see where our futures intertwine even more and what God's got for both of us in plan. But you have helped me a lot, so thank you, sir.
Pick up your clothes and stop eating my Cheetos.
Jeez. The stuff he brings to the table, like at lunch today, like his prayer requests, how he handles things, it tells us the situation about our neighbors,
Yeah.
and it's just so sincere. And also, like, the joy of the Lord is his strength.
Amen.
And when there's something happening, like during the day, if there's some stuff going on, I mean, he brings everybody to a level place of like, it's all good. So, I mean,
Heck yeah.
yeah.